Alamosaurus, the last giant of the Cretaceous, a towering shadow in the twilight of the dinosaurs, roughly 70 to 66 million years ago, when Earth still pulsed with vibrant life, but was already marching toward an inevitable cataclysm. The plains of North America were home to creatures of staggering size and majesty. Among fierce predators like Tyrannosaurus rex, armored tanks like Ankylosaurus, and the herds of horned Triceratops, there walked a gentle but colossal titan, Alamosaurus, one of the last surviving sauropods and a living monument to the fading grandeur of the age of dinosaurs. Hack appearance: a moving tower of the prehistoric world. Alamosaurus belonged to the Titanosauria, the mighty lineage of sauropods that thrived across several continents during the Cretaceous. Estimates suggest that an adult Alamosaurus could stretch 21 to over 30 meters in length, the size of 3 city buses parked end to end. Its bulk may have reached 30 to 40 tons, making it more than 6 times heavier than today's African elephant. Its long, flexible neck acted like a living crane, able to sweep upward into the treetops or bend low to strip ferns and shrubs from the ground. Its tail, equally long and immensely powerful, could whip through the air with explosive force, perhaps cracking like a thunderclap when struck against the ground, a warning to any predator daring enough to approach. Fossil evidence suggests Alamosaurus may have borne osteoderms, bony plates embedded in the skin scattered across its back and neck. These natural shields weren't as thick as those of ankylosaurs, but they could have added extra protection against attacks. Its legs were like the pillars of a temple, massive columns supporting an entire living tower. Every step it took would have shaken the ground, leaving deep footprints in mud and sand, footprints that, millions of years later, humans would uncover and marvel at. Habitat: a lush Western America. Today, when one thinks of Texas, New Mexico, or Utah, visions of dry desert, red canyons, and sun-scorched mesas come to mind. But in the late Cretaceous, these regions were nothing like the arid landscapes we know. Instead, they were lush, warm, and fertile, with flowing rivers, wetlands, and broad floodplains teeming with life. Forests of towering conifers stretched skyward, massive ferns blanketed the ground, and flowering plants, newcomers in Earth's evolutionary story, spread across the plains. This green abundance was a banquet fit for giants like Alamosaurus. And Alamosaurus was far from alone. These same plains hosted Triceratops with its massive frill and horns, Edmontosaurus, the duck-billed giants that roamed in herds, and Pachycephalosaurus, with domed skulls built for bone-crunching headbutts. Above all lurked the ultimate predator, Tyrannosaurus rex. In this ecosystem, Alamosaurus was both an unshakable fortress and a living centerpiece, shaping the very environment it walked through. Behavior: the power of size and herds. Alamosaurus was an herbivore, stripping leaves, branches, and perhaps even fruits from the vegetation around it. But peace did not mean safety. The young, in particular, were vulnerable to predation. A hungry T-Rex could surely bring down a juvenile Alamosaurus, and the bones of sauropods occasionally bear tooth marks of giant carnivores. To survive, Alamosaurus likely lived in herds. Adults may have surrounded the young, forming a moving wall of flesh and bone, much like elephants today. When threatened, the herd could rotate, presenting their whip-like tails outward as a collective barrier. One strike from such a tail could shatter bones, making even the deadliest predator hesitate. Adults themselves were virtually invulnerable. A healthy, fully grown Alamosaurus was simply too large for any predator to handle. In this way, sheer size became its greatest weapon and its most reliable defense. Adaptation: the secret of the last survivors. What makes Alamosaurus remarkable is not only its size, but its timing. In North America, sauropods had largely disappeared by the late Cretaceous, yet Alamosaurus appeared, flourished, and endured right up until the very end. How? Paleontologists debate 2 main theories. 1, migration from South America. In the southern continent, Titanosaurs thrived until the very end of the Cretaceous. It's possible that a population crossed into North America via temporary land bridges, establishing new herds in the north. 2. Native survival. Alternatively, Alamosaurus may have evolved from local sauropod lineages that somehow adapted and endured in the fertile floodplains of western North America. Whichever story is true, Alamosaurus was a survivor, thriving in a time when its relatives had vanished. Its very existence was a defiance of extinction until the final cataclysm arrived. The last morning before doom. Picture a dawn 66 million years ago. The golden sun rises over vast green plains. Mist curls above winding rivers. A herd of Alamosaurus slowly emerges from the haze. Long necks sway above the treetops, their deep, rumbling calls echoing like the heartbeat of the earth itself. They do not know that far across the sky, a colossal asteroid is racing toward Earth. Within months or years, the skies will darken, the plants will wither, and the age of dinosaurs will end in fire and shadow. But in that fleeting moment, Alamosaurus is still king, a monument of flesh and bone, towering high above the landscape, embodying the ancient strength and grace of nature at its peak. Fascinating facts. The name Alamosaurus doesn't come from the Battle of the Alamo. It derives from the Ojo Alamo Formation in New Mexico, where its fossils were first discovered in 1922. It is one of the largest titanosaurs ever discovered in North America. Fossilized trackways suggest it walked steadily but powerfully, covering nearly 3 meters with each step. Juveniles appear to have grown rapidly, reaching safer sizes in just a few years. A vital strategy for survival in a world full of predators. Conclusion: the monument of the final days. Alamosaurus was more than just another dinosaur. It was a survivor, a towering testament to nature's resilience, and one of the last giants to roam before the curtain fell on the Mesozoic era. In its time, it dominated the fertile plains of western North America, a peaceful titan whose presence shaped the land around it. And in the twilight of the Cretaceous, as darkness loomed, it stood as one of the final symbols of the dinosaur's grandeur. Even in extinction, Alamosaurus lives on, in the fossils it left behind, in the footprints pressed deep into ancient mud, and in our imagination, where it continues to walk the green plains of a vanished world, forever a monument to the end of an age.